I think we're going to get started. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm really happy to have your participation with us. I hope you're all having a good day today. So my name is Mariam and I am the Marketing and Partnerships Coordinator at Sustainability Kiosk. I'm excited to be your moderator for today's webinar, which is episode 2 of our series Supplier Connect. Supplier Connect is an ongoing series presenting practical solutions geared towards boosting sustainability in hospitality. And our aim is to make it easier for hotels to discover and implement sustainability solutions. So our episode today is Revolutionizing HVAC efficiency and indoor air quality with CONTINEWM Nets. And we're joined by Sahitya, who is Business Development and Special Projects Lead at Net. So welcome, Sahitya.
Thank you, everyone.
So as you know, as we all know, the Middle East faces immense energy challenges due to extreme climates and heavy dependence on air conditioning systems. So this obviously is leading to skyrocketing HVAC energy consumption and operational costs across all sectors. But at the same time, we also know that the region struggles with poor air quality, especially from high levels of particulate matter, which is caused by urbanization, desert dust, sand, and industrial activity. So all of these combined issues highlight the need for smarter, more sustainable solutions for HVAC efficiency, with the added bonus, of course, of improved indoor air quality. So that's exactly why we're hosting this webinar today. So moving forward, our agenda for today's session, So our agenda for today's session is a welcome and introduction to the webinar by yours truly. Then I'll be handing over to the Nets team so that they can start talking about the Nets technology, along with product benefits, mechanics and features, as well as proof of concept. And then we'll be moving into a Q&A and conversation, and then wrapping up. So I hope you're all ready, because this is a good session. So if you're not familiar with Sustainability Kiosk, welcome. We are a platform that aims to bridge the connection between hotels and sustainability. And how we do it is threefold: connect, consult, and educate. And our ambition, so by 2026, which is next year, our mission is to facilitate over 100 solution matchups between hotels and sustainability solution providers. We're looking to train 1,000 hospitality professionals through our host workshop and toolkits. And we're also aiming to reach 10,000 professionals through our podcasts, workshops, and events, including our flagship annual event, Responsible Hotelier Summit. So as mentioned, we work threefold, so connect, consult, and educate. And our first pillar is connect. So this is our online marketplace platform where solution providers can list their solutions, and all validated solutions towards net zero listed for free, or there is a one-time annual membership fee for social media promotion, free access to our year-long events, as well as amplified visibility through our campaigns and content. So at the moment, we have over 55 vetted solution providers, and we're growing constantly. So if you are a solution provider with impact, we would love to hear from you, and we would love to feature you. Our second pillar is consult. So this is our sustainability advisory and consulting part of Sustainability Kiosk, and these are some of the hotels that we work with. We are also collaboration partners with Emirates Green Building Council, World Sustainable Hospitality Alliance, and Dubai Sustainable Tourism. And lastly, our final pillar is educate. So this is where we want to share our knowledge and passion with all of you. So we do this through our Sustainability Stories podcast, our Kiosk and Kettle blogs, our Supplier Connect webinars like today, our responsible hospitality newsletters, as well as our networking events 3 times a year. And as I mentioned, our flagship annual Responsible Hotelier Summit. So our Hotelier Summit is actually on the 30th of October this year at the Anantara Dubai downtown. So please mark your calendars. And lastly, this is us. So we are a women-led team, and we have Radhika, who is our founder. Then we have Tiffany and Stella, who are always on the ground in hotels, conducting audits, offering consulting, and their advisory services. And then you have me, Mariam, who manages the marketing and partnership in the BookiePR. So that's a little bit from my side. I'm going to be handing over to Sahitya from CONTINEWM Nets now. But just before that, please feel free to drop your thoughts and questions in the box, and we'll get to them during our Q&A session. And also, this webinar is being recorded to share with you at a later stage. Yep, so Sahitya, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mariam. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
A very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Sahitya, and I'm pleased to share that I'm going to be talking about a very interesting technology called CONTINEWM, a technology which has been developed and produced in Japan. My full name is Sahitya Thaman, and I am the Business Development and Special Leads Head for National Environmental Solutions, short for NETS. And National Environmental Solutions is the authorized distributor for CONTINEWM Nets. The technology is a patented air treatment technology, as you can see on your screens. It's a very simple technology which works wonders. We've had great track record all over the world. And this is a great opportunity and a great platform given to us by Sustainability Kiosk team. And I thank all the Wonder Women who've been behind this. And I'm sure this is going to be an enjoyable session for all of us. Beginning with a very simple fact. CONTINEWM is a technology which is catering to a very important aspect of HVAC energy, which is the air that is being brought in, essentially air conditioning. CONTINEWM is an air treatment technology. There is no mechanics. There are no absorption, so it's not a filter. There are no electronic or electrical components, so we move away from all of the nitty-gritties, all of the replacement hassles, the problems that we get with mechanical or electronic components. We're only focusing on the air that is being brought in, being conditioned, and being given out as outlet, even though it's hot or cold. Apart from the major benefits, I'd like to highlight three key benefits that we are going to talk about. One is energy efficiency. After adoption of CONTINEWM, we've observed energy efficiency up to 25%, which is your savings. We also observed reduction of PM2.5 and PM10 levels by 20 to 40% on an average, and also the maintenance of homogeneous temperatures with the variance of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. Since CONTINEWM works on the principle of conditioning your air, that means it has to be in operation. With this, CONTINEWM also brings in operational benefits. One being reduced carbon footprint, which naturally correlates to the consumption that you do with your electrical consumption. The second, apart from the many solutions available in the market today, CONTINEWM has a significantly shorter ROI period. Post your ROI or your break-even period, all the savings that are generated are long-term savings. CONTINEWM does not need any replacement, so all the savings that are generated are, could be put back into your working capital, could be used for expansion and whatnot. There are no maintenance costs or hidden costs attached to it, and there's no incubation period, so efficiency and efficacy is observed immediately. In front of you is a few specifications of CONTINEWM with the picture on your left-hand side. CONTINEWM size comes in a standard size of 49 centimeters by 48 centimeters. Its approximate weight is about 220 grams. The material of construction is specially patented ceramic compounds and minerals, which have been embedded into polyethylene honeycomb structure frame. The properties of continuum and are are naturally available, and as we call it, it's a constant natural emission process of far infrared rays and also maintenance of electronegativity. So the special patented ceramic compounds and minerals I spoke about um, are the small black particles that you see on your screen, which have been highlighted. These special patented ceramic compounds and minerals are the ones which emit the far infrared rays and also are electronegative in nature. These are the game changers. Continuum has been patented in two of the most difficult countries to get patent in. One being Japan, naturally, because where the product is actually from. The patent from Japan was in 2012 and in the US since 2021. Professor Ryuji Sakai is the reason we are all here today. Professor Sakai is an avid lover of the environment, and with his genius, he's come up with multiple products, multiple technologies that are helping the world. Um, Being Self-Fresh-Net in 2012, which was again further developed to become, as we know it today, called Continuum. And since 2016, he's perfected his designs, and what we have today is because of Professor Ryuji Sakai. Continuum as a brand and as a technology is available in 38 plus countries, and we are proud to say that our team is growing. The presence is felt across continents, and with the recent addition being under our banner, which is the MENA region. So if someone were to ask me, Saitya, what is your elevator pitch? What is Continuum's elevator pitch? To them, I would say Continuum is the most practical, straightforward, and easy air treatment technology that reduces HVAC energy consumption and also reduces PM2.5 levels. Just reiterating on the fact that there's no maintenance, there's no replacement, and there's no hassle of any kind. It's a simple retrofit product. The applications range from any and everywhere where there is extensive use of HVAC energy, be it hotels, factories, data centers, commercial properties, convention centers, etc. The simple retrofit aspect comes into play where Continuum is compatible with almost all types of HVAC units available in the market today, be it your AHUs, your TFAs, your floor mounted, your cassette mounted units. Continuum is an air treatment technology, and hence it is not limited to the type or design of commercial or domestic HVAC units. Now, the million-dollar question is how does a simple looking mesh bring in such great results? So the science behind it is the first air treatment technology. Now, the first treatment effect that Continuum does on the air is it reduces electrostatic turbulences, and it does that through electronegativity. We've all heard, there's a certain electropositive or electronegative charge, that a static charge that all molecules or all atoms hold, right? Same is true for the air as well. The air inherently carries a positive charge. As you can see on the diagram on your left, which labels without continuum, the air, once it comes in contact with your HVAC's mechanical parts, which also hold a positive electrostatic charge, the positive and positive, they repel. There's a friction because they are not attracted towards each other. So we see that the air is not in optimal contact with the heat exchanger fins or the HVAC's mechanical parts. Now, because this is a natural phenomenon, all air conditioning units without continuum are working in the same philosophy. So inherently, there is some sort of friction or some sort of repulsion that is always happening, which does not let the AC run on its optimal condition ever. Now, with the introduction of continuum, the diagram on your middle, we find that once the air passes through continuum, which is inherently electronegative in nature, the final effect we find is that once the air is passed through continuum, the charge of the air is neutralized because the negative charge of the continuum net versus the positive charge of the air. Once the positive and negative come together, we find that this process is called natural ionization, where the charge is neutralized. Now, since a neutral charged air and the positively charged HVAC's mechanical parts come in contact, we find that the contact surface area is much better because the repulsion or the friction is very less, due to which, the charge is neutralized, number one. There's the elimination of the repulsive forces. Naturally, friction is reduced. And ultimately, we find that the contact surface area is maximized between the air and the HVAC's mechanical parts or the heat exchanger fins. Now, this works for all temperatures, be it hot or cold, because the inherent air which is being conditioned inside, we are making sure that the air has better contact surface area with the heat exchanger fins. In normal conditions, for basic illustration purposes, you might imagine this as a simple room with a split unit. The outlet of the air, whatever air that is coming inside the room after being conditioned, we find that the air is again positively charged. Now, this is a case without continuum net, right? There's repulsive forces, the air is positively charged. But with the introduction of continuum, the electropositive air has its charge neutralized. And once this charge is neutralized, we find that there's energy savings. Second benefit that we get is that all the airborne particles, which also, again, hold certain positive electrostatic charge in them, they too find that the levels of the PM levels are reduced, which comes to the second point of continuum, where the PM levels, the harmful PM levels, which are very dangerous for humans to breathe in, the levels of PM are reduced. Since the air that is present in your room is positively charged without continuum, now with the introduction of continuum, we find that even the PM particles which are carrying a positive charge in them, once they come in contact with the neutralized air, their charge is also reduced. So we find that they're not airborne anymore. The key word here is airborne. So if they're not airborne, because removing them is always a challenge. You either need a filter or you need some sort of suction or vacuum to take them out of your room. But if they are not airborne, they are not a risk to human health anymore. So the PM particles carrying an inherent positive charge, once they come in contact with the neutralized air, their charge is also neutralized. Now, they either stick to the nearest possible surface because there's no repulsive force, not making them airborne, or they fall down due to gravity. The second air treatment effect, how Continuum works in reducing your HVAC energy consumption, is the constant natural emission process of far infrared rays. Let's go back to school level chemistry, where we understood that the molecules always are in a constant state of vibration and oscillation. This particular aspect or this particular treatment of air is related to the moisture that is present in the air. Moisture, essentially, which is water, um, has some sort of effect, as we find, towards making sure that whatever air is coming in due to all temperatures, be it your high level coastal areas where the humidity is quite high, or even certain areas where the conditions are very dry, there still is some kind of moisture present or some kind of water that is present in the air. Now, on the diagram on your left, if you see the water molecules we find in normal conditions are always in a cluster form. They're always linked together by hydrogen bond, and they're always formed in a cluster. right? Now, this cluster is always constantly oscillating and vibrating. But with the introduction of specific far infrared rays, the hydrogen bond between them is loosened up. And slowly, because the vibration intensifies, the hydrogen bond is cut. Now, this individual cluster is broken down. Sorry, this cluster is broken down into individual water molecules. This is basic. Now, this is coming into play during our HVAC's energy saving, where once continuum is introduced, the air volume of air which is containing the same clusters of water molecule, once they pass through continuum net, we find that the clusters are broken down into individual water molecules. As you can see on the diagram on your left, without continuum, we find that the water molecules have very less contact surface area with the cooling coils. Now, the same volume of air has to repeatedly be cooled over and over again until unless it reaches the set point. Right? But with the introduction of continuum, we find that the water molecules, once they're broken down, the contact surface area is much more greater. Now, essentially, if you take an example of a normal hotel room, the outdoor temperature could be 30 degrees, the indoor set point temperature could be 23 degrees. If it takes about 30 minutes for the same volume of air to be cooled down to 23 degrees, takes about, let's just say, 30 minutes. With the introduction of continuum, the same volume of air could be cooled in, let's just say, 17, 18, or 19 minutes. The amount of time taken less to cool the same volume of air is where your saving lie. Right? So essentially, we are cooling the same volume of air in a very less time compared to cases without continuum where the same volume of air has to repeatedly be cooled over and over again to make sure that the set point is achieved faster. Now, as a combination effect of the honeycomb structure, the smoothness that is coming there, or the linearity that is coming from the air being neutralized, and also because of the density of the air slightly being affected by continuum, we find that the homogeneous cooling effect is always maintained. If you are sitting very close by to the the air conditioning's outlet, versus someone who's sitting right opposite or in some corner. The person sitting right opposite at the corner is always feeling that the air conditioning is not running optimally. Now, even though the air conditioning is same, even though the direction of air is same, this is felt because cooling of the corners is always a challenge. Now, because of the combined effect of the air that is being brought into your room, we also find that the homogeneous temperature is maintained throughout the corners. As I mentioned before, Continuum is a very simple product, and it's a retrofit technology. Just for illustration purposes, we have a picture here of the backside of an air tube, where we have just given 4 steps to make sure that the installation purpose is, entitled in all of that. So first step is accessing your air filter. The second step is placing Continuum on your air filter. The third step is securing Continuum with zip ties. Fourth step is putting the air filter back. That's essentially it. That's the only installation that is required. There's no special, team or training or anything that is required to make sure the Continuum net is perfectly installed. Anyone and everyone with a 2-minute training can do it easily. Now, because of the material of construction of Continuum, it's flexible. It can be cut to fit the various sizes of filters which are available in the market, be it half a size of a filter or the entire big filters. Continuum can be joined using zip ties to cater to a bigger size, or cut to fit smaller sizes of filter. And because of the polyethylene, we find that Continuum is also flexible, so that the curvature of certain units, like your split units, can be met. Technically, we recommend 2 placement options. One is right on your pre-filters itself. Second, if the access to the pre-filters is not as convenient or not as technically possible, we could recommend Continuum to be placed using frames made out of stainless steel or aluminum, and making sure that the frame is placed as close as possible to your cooling coil. We've been fortunate enough to have a prestigious clientele across sectors, be it your hospitality, retail, healthcare, public houses, data centers. Continuum has been proving its efficiency for a very long time to top business houses, and making sure we are doing our bit to save the world. National Environmental Solutions, which is our company, was established in 2022. And since then, with the introduction of Continuum under our arsenal, we've proudly achieved 21.2% savings for ITC Limited, which is one of the biggest conglomerates of India. We had the energy savings on air conditioning systems with chiller and AHU. With the Leela, which is one of the biggest luxury hotel chains of India, we achieved a 33% combined average reduction in PM levels. Currently, we are working with the likes of TCS, Taj, Unilever, Panasonic, Nestle, Al Sarkal in UAE. We are working with them to conduct a very transparent and a very rigorous proof of concept. We are making sure that all these houses and all these properties are transparently, catered to. We have a short video done by Sustainable Kiosk team with our long associated client, Mr. Hugh. I would just like to play this video if that's all right.
Sorry, Sahitya, can I just interject really quickly? Before we play the video, everybody, if anyone's got any questions, any queries, any doubts on the technology, or just any general questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A. And then while we're watching the video, and then we'll get to them at the end of the session. So if you've got any questions, please drop them in the box. Sahitya, go ahead.
Sure.
All right.
Okay, Hugh, so I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. So I just want to hear a little bit about you and your business and what industry you're in, because we kind of want to hear a little bit more about the nets being installed on the ground.
Well, I've always been in operations and manufacturing, managing different sizes of factories, mostly in the gems and jewelry industry. And when I first came in contact with the CONTINEWM Nets, I was the managing director of one of the Swarovski business units in Thailand. So we had a production running 24/6, so 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, 2 shifts. And as you know, in hotter climates like here in Southeast Asia, air cons or cooling of facilities are at least half of your energy bill. So knowing that half of our close to $40,000 worth of electricity consumption on a monthly basis went for aircon. When I first heard about Continuum and got then the distributor for Thailand to come and do a presentation, we were immediately hooked, even though we didn't have any prior knowledge of what it did. But the presentation was such that it made a lot of sense. So we tested it in one department. That was the busiest one. We had over 100 people in there, and they were split type wall-mounted air cons. So it was not a chiller system or anything like that. It was the single types. And they were, of course, installed on one side of the room. So people under there were usually hot, while the people on the other side of the room were too cold. And it was never really a homogeneous flow of air. So we did luckily we already had the electricity meters in each of the departments installed. So we knew the before and after the installation of the CONTINEWM Nets. And we must say, they promised between 15 to 25% energy saving. And the highest, we had it running for over a year before we decided, or before we should decide to implement it at the whole factory. And we saw maximum, we had a 22% saving. 1 month was 22%. But for the year, we were averaging about 17, 18% of energy savings. Now, if you can calculate, half of the $40,000 worth of electricity, that's 20,000, 10% on that. The ROI was, I think, below 18 months, I think between 12 and 18 months. So it was really quickly that we got our money back because of just the savings. But what was cool is, we were about 400 staff in Thailand. It's required by law to have a full-time nurse on duty, so a nurse's office within the factory, if you have more than 80 workers. So we had, close to 400. So we had a full-time nurse on duty. And what we saw is that the visits by the staff to the nurse's office was reduced in that particular department where we installed the CONTINEWM Nets, because it doesn't just help you with your energy saving, it makes up a more harmonious flow of air within, and it also helps with PM2.5, PM1.0, whatever all the other PMs are. And we could really see that in terms of nurses' office visits by people working in that department. So respiratory illnesses were a lot less than before. People just felt generally better. The air felt cleaner inside the room. So it was all big wins for us in terms of productivity and just climate within the department, as opposed to other departments that did not have it installed. Sadly, before we were planning to implement it at the whole factory, we had some massive transformation in the company, whereby the business unit was closed. So I left Swarovski at 22. But I'm such a believer that now with my new job, I'm working now in Mumbai for another jewelry company in a position of operational excellence. And I've introduced Jatin to the company. And they're now doing tests both here at the factory in Mumbai as well as their factories in Surat. So it's really about seeing the benefit and applying it where it's necessary. And especially knowing that it's proven. And what I really like about them is, even if you're a big supporter and you've heard from a close friend and your trusted friend and feedback has been immense, they still insist on doing a trial period first. Test it out in a certain department as long as you have the meters and you check your temperature inside, outside for a few weeks. And then they put the nets in place. Then, they'll basically let the product speak for itself. And it does.
That's incredible, Hugh. Yeah, that's really impressive. So you installed it in the factories in Bangkok, and it went really well in terms of employee comfort, in terms of your savings. So all in all sounds really good. In terms of the installation, was it a quick installation for your AC units?
That was actually the best part. The production could continue. You didn't have to shut anything down. They just came with a ladder, slid in the nets into the different types of air conditioning. Okay, they might need to cut it to fit for size, but production was ongoing, and they, without any interruptions to the production, they just installed all the nets, which is really cool, because many inventions or different types of air cons, you need to shut down the whole factory, or it takes a long time. This, they were done. I mean, it was one department, was quite large, a couple of hundred square meters. But one day they completed the installation and we were up and running. So that's a good thing. It doesn't need maintenance. It's immediately installed, and
amazing.
You can just keep running your factory, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's pretty good to know, because we're obviously hotels always looking for retrofit solutions or solutions that they can just quickly implement. So the net sounds like it's exactly that. Business as usual. Well, so that's really, really interesting to know. So in terms of your ESG goals, did you have any ESG goals? Did you feel like the CONTINEWM Nets contributed to any of your sustainability goals?
Here, current employer, while sustainability is of course a point on our agenda, it's not as driven as it was at Swarovski. At Swarovski, we had the whole teams, whole departments for sustainability, and there was really top priority. And we definitely use the nets as part of our story, or our annual sustainability report. We made a reference to that as well, for sure. Because at the end of the day, you save energy, and if energy comes from the grid and it's not renewable, then you can use that. It lowers your carbon footprint. It helps you save energy. It gives you better quality of air, so your workers are happier and more productive. So it's win across the board. There's actually nothing negative I can say about the CONTINEWM Nets. I would suggest it to anybody that wants to listen, and go for it. It's trusted. It's doable. It's workable, and it gives you the required, what they promise, because many products usually sometimes over-promise something. But for sure, not the case here. They say between 15 and 25 and 17, 18% on average, with 22% saving in 1 month as our maximum. But I have also close friends in Bangkok that have used it in their factory, and they're averaging 22, 23%. So it's really how old are your air cons. But the good thing is, be it an HVAC system or a chiller system or single units, standalone or hanging from the ceiling, it doesn't matter. They will fit it in any type of air conditioning. So it's really very, very flexible as well. I don't think they will ever meet a customer that would say, sorry, for your type of air conditioning, we don't have a solution. They have a solution for everything. So
that's really good to know as well.
It's a broad range of uses for their nets in terms of the type of air conditionings that are around.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting to hear, tried and tested solution in somewhere in I guess, a humid or hot place like Bangkok, because obviously in the UAE it's also really hot and the temperature is starting to spike and everyone's starting to get really hot. And obviously based on that, all the energy costs are going up. So it's quite nice to know that this is something that the nets are, I guess as mentioned, a tried and tested solution to help with all the costs.
Yes.
Yeah, because we're heading into the summer season now for the next 3 or 4 months. So it's always good to know that there is a solution out there for that.
No, for sure. I mean, I can only imagine the energy bills for hotels, especially in the UAE. I can only imagine what kind of values that is on a monthly basis. So yeah, I mean, 15 to 25% saving on that is, you don't need to be a mathematical genius to calculate the ROI on that, right?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, that's very true. You've really given us on the ground insight, and I'm sure that people are going to take a lot of information away from your testimonial. And it's nice to know that you do recommend this product as well, because it's always really helpful and handy for people. So thank you very much, Hugh. Much appreciated. Yes, and thank you so much for your time.
Have a good one. Don't forget to install your CONTINEWM Nets.
Thanks a lot, Hugh.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you, Mariam, for putting this amazing video up together. Hugh has been very kind with his words.
Yeah, no problem at all. He was a delight to speak to.
He's been too kind with his words. Right, I'm very close to the end. I'll just move on very quickly now. Now, talking specifically about the hospitality sector, CONTINEWM has proven its efficiency in the hospitality sector for quite some time now. We've had certain amazing results too, be it your core hotels, where there was energy savings of 25%. Anantara Boput was 47.2, Ibis Riverside Bangkok 22.5, Novotel Koh Samui 26, Banyan Tree Koh Samui 19.1. Movenpick in Phuket was 23%. ITC Limited Pan India was the 21.2% bracket that we got. And PM level reduction at the Leela Ambience in Gurgaon was 33% as a combined average. We congratulate ITC Royal Bengal on being awarded as the best energy efficient commercial building/hotel. This award was given to them by CII, which is the Confederation of Indian Industries, where they hold a National Energy Efficiency Circle competition. And in 2024, ITC Royal Bengal was awarded with this award. Hotelier India had done an article with them, and they were kind enough to mention CONTINEWM Nets as the HVAC energy saving technology that was adopted for ITC Royal Bengal to be awarded this, this prestigious award. Just a plea from our side, where we mentioned your action today saves our future tomorrow. National Envirotech Solution is proud to be associated with CONTINEWM. We also have been partnered up with the likes of Airweather, where they manufacture state-of-the-art air quality monitoring systems, from physical monitors to web dashboards to mobile applications. We've also partnered up with Luminex, which is a company from India which manufactures solar reflective paints, which again are helping in energy saving. We're also partnered up with Ankur Scientific, who is one of the 3 licensees in the world to produce Omni Processor, which is a technology from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is a waste to energy plant technology. National Envirotech Solutions has been doing their bit for the world, and we hope to make a good change. So let's make a change. That is it from our side. We thank the Sustainability Kiosk team for such a wonderful platform, for all of their effort to put this together, and we wish them all the best. We also would like to thank Mr. Claudio for getting us connected. And we hope to bring a lot of changes to the systems that you already have and bring great results. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sahitya. I'm sure everybody has, taken away a few nuggets of information about the technology. So that's amazing. We are gonna, I'm just gonna take over the screen, and we have a question, or somebody's actually raised their hand. So Susanta, I'm just going to unmute your mic so that you can ask your question. Susanta, you can go ahead and speak. Susanta?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah,
How are
you can
you?
hear me now?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear you, sir.
Yes, Satya, it's not this is something new. Thank you very much to introduce this kind of product to us. So I have just few questions to understand better this product.
Sure,
Okay,
sir.
what is the lifetime of this product?
So the minerals which are present, the patented ceramic compounds and minerals which are present, they're all natural. So you can compare the chemical composition to things that we find on an everyday basis. For example, gold. If you buy gold today, after 10 years, the chemical composition of gold does not change. It still remains gold. Example, another could be magnets. If you keep the poles apart for 5, 10, 15 years, if you bring them together, they still attract because of the natural properties which are present in them. So the natural elements, the ceramic compounds which are present, they have a lifetime. They do not have any decline in efficiency, or they do not weather off with time. But for the physical body that holds the polyethylene body that holds these chemicals together, from the manufacturer, we have a 20-year warranty on the breakage itself. But if you are operating Continuum, or if the Continuum net is placed within the SOP, then I don't think you need replacement for a very long time. There are cases where Continuum has outlasted the filters of your HVAC units. So the lifetime is not a problem at all.
Is there any side effect
No side
with any
effects.
chemicals,
I'm
or how durable it is? Like,
so
okay, example, see, all the technicians are not in the same mindset, or all the technicians are not like that much efficiency. Okay, so during the filter cleaning, maybe they fall down. So how durability this is?
So if it falls down, there's no problem at all, sir. But since the body is made out of polyethylene, if you want to break it, it will break, because it can
Okay.
easily be. If you want to break it, it will break. Right? But if it's placed using zip ties under the SOP, it's good to go. The only recommendation that the manufacturer has passed on to all the users is, since it's a natural product with certain chemicals which are cooked together in a certain manner, they do not recommend using any soapy solutions or chemicals to clean Continuum, or use any chemicals to clean anything on top of Continuum. So if the filters, for example, which even the case is very rare, if the filters are to be cleaned using certain chemicals, we recommend that Continuum be taken off and be put back again. And since the installation is very simple, only using zip ties, even the removal is also as easy.
Okay. Where is your pilot project? Which one your pilot project? So okay, so how you come to know? Okay, this is their saving. You have any calculation sheet to understand? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we have a very rigorous process that we use for our proof of concept. It is based on your initial readings, where we create a baseline for you. The baseline is comprising of your indoor temperatures, your outdoor temperatures, your consumption based on your hourly readings. Then once the baseline has been established, we share it with you, your team, or any of the third parties that you are willing to speak to. We make sure that the baseline is validated by both the parties. We also make sure that the baseline is validated by our VP and technical head, Mr. Thomas, who is operating out of Bangkok. Once that is done, we use the same pre and post conditions, where the preconditions were kept similar for at least 3 to 4 weeks. Then the post conditions, where after the baseline has been established, we install CONTINEWM Nets, keep the same conditions where apple to apple comparison can happen. Then we record the same parameters. We also use linear regression as a statistical analysis tool. With linear regression, we compare independent variable to a dependent variable, where our dependent variable is the consumption, and the independent variable, which cannot change, is the delta T, which is the difference between your outdoor and indoor temperature. So we make sure that a report is generated. There are certain SOPs that is required to even select a POC site, which can be discussed at a later date. So in essence, this is the basic POC process that we use. 1 month pre and 1 month post, where the conditions are kept same, and a statistical tool of linear regression is used for calculations.
So this can be fit any air conditioning unit, right?
Any air conditioning unit where there is an inlet of air, the air is being conditioned, and there's an outlet, sir.
And
so
it's only recommended to outlets of the airflow, right? So any unit, air conditioning unit, so the air pass out, so the discharge of the cooling unit, right?
It's actually placed at the very beginning, so where the air is being sucked in through your
cooling unit.
Cooling unit, and then before, let's just say it is
before the cooling coil, right?
Before the cooling coil, exactly, sir. Before the
cooling coil,
right?
Okay, so we can fit out any one of the respiratory AC unit that is not mentioned.
Any unit is not.
Yeah, this is the we can resize it based on the requirement.
Yes, sir. Depending on the filter sizes, because it is being placed on the filter itself. Sometimes we have a 30 by 60 filter where we might have to cut the CONTINEWM net in half, which is easily possible and works the same way.
Okay. Thank you. Only this much. Yeah.
Thank you for your questions, sir.
Thanks a lot, Susanta. So if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to put them into the Q&A box. Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, maybe
yes,
I don't think this is correct question or wrong question. See, basically I'm not understanding how your system is calculating, how you people are calculating with 25% saving. So the answer you give me, I'm not convinced on this answer. If there is any pilot project and there is an example, right? Okay, this is before this continuous product using. Okay, what is their consumption? If it's some calculation sheet you have, you can show us.
Yes, sir. Mariam, am I allowed to share any of the documents, or how do I?
Because see, I'm very frankly, there is your survey I'm showing here. Okay, to make it your survey, so I have to understand what is the product exactly.
Of course, sir. Of course.
Yes. You can share your screen, Sahitya.
Sure.
While Sahitya is doing that, I'm just going to read the results of the polls that we put up. So which indoor air quality concern is most pressing in your building? So we had 0% for CO2 levels. We had 20% for allergens or dust. 40% of you said humidity. 0% of you said volatile organic compounds, and the other remaining 40% said odors. So odors and humidity are two indoor air quality concerns. And the second poll question that we put up was how much energy savings do businesses see with CONTINEWM? And that was between 20 and 30%, which 40% of you got correct. So yeah, it's great. You've been listening, which is great. If you do have any other questions, we're still waiting for Sahitya to pull up his screen. But if you have any other questions in the meantime, feel free to drop them in and we'll answer them. If you have any feedback or anything as well, please feel free to let us know. Okay, here we go. We have 10 minutes left as well on the clock as well, Sahitya, just so that you're aware.
Sure, I'll be very quick. So since we're out of all NDA, so I'm allowed to share this. So this was a pilot project that we did for ITC Foods in Guwahati, which is a a biscuit manufacturing plant. This was done in July. So I'll just run through the brief report. There were chillers and AHUs. BTU meters were used, fan power meters were used, and the building's BMS was also used to collect data. The basic chronology was from 18th May, we started to record the data. 6th June, there was installation of CONTINEWM Nets. 20th June, there was post-installation data recording was ended, and 7th was the report that was submitted. So in very summarized terms, the pre-installation data, which you can see at the top part, was during the day from 18th to 30th, where the average delta T was recorded. We find all these readings. The average consumption was also recorded. Then we find post-installation, where the similar kind of data was also recorded. We use linear regression to make sure we find out, a good baseline that is created first. Then this is based on your actual conditions. Then the blue ones that you see are post-installation. So the yellow ones are your actual data points based on real life scenarios, and that is your baseline. Once your baseline was established, we found after installation there's a stock difference. We find this is the savings that you lie. Now, on the basis of which the same equations and linear regression tools were used to derive a range of delta T, which you can find here, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on the basis of which we derived an average savings of 22.7%. So this is a very short, explanation of how we do it. But rest assured, this is a very rigorous, a very tedious, and a very transparent process that we make sure we do it with everyone. And because of time constraint, I'm not sure if I can explain more about this. But I'll be happy to be connecting with you, Mr. Susanta, and sharing more about our technology and how we derive the savings.
Yeah, thank you, Satya. Actually, this is some new product. Okay, so that's why I just try to understand how the calculation is happening.
No,
Okay,
definitely, sir.
this is very good. This the main thing is that this is very user-friendly product.
Correct.
Okay, so if we can use it as per our requirement, as per our the units, existing units are is there. There is no changes is required at all, and yeah, it's good to know about some new product. Hopefully, so our higher management think about something about it, and let's see what is the future.
Thank you, Mr. Susanta,
With
for
your
the amazing
product.
questions. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
no,
lovely
thank you very
questions,
much.
and
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to remove your skepticism.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Susanta. Does anybody have any questions? I can see. Yeah, does anybody have any more questions about how it works? Anything? We've still got a couple minutes left on the clock, so we have some time to take your questions, and you should ask your questions now while Sahitya's here. Now's the best time.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I was that good at explaining because there was only one person who did not understand. Everyone else understood, so it's good.
Yeah. Yes, if anybody's got any questions, now's the time. Any other questions? No. What I'll do is I will let me just share my screen again so that everybody can have access to the contact details in case. if it decides to load. Yeah, so you can see their details here. So you've got Anil, Jatin, and Sahitya. So feel free to reach out to any of them if you've got any questions. And I can also drop this as well into the post webinar email that I'll be sending out to everyone.
And then also, sorry,
yes,
I was just going to say, hi, this is Radhika. I was just going to say they're also listed on the site. So if anyone wants to find out more information about CONTINEWM Nets and what's the impact on the pricing and their validation partner, like we always do, we always bring your validation partner so you know where has it been successfully tried, tested. And I suppose Hugh is also available on LinkedIn if anybody wants to reach out and hear more from the video testimonial that we had.
Okay, I guess if we have no more questions, then yeah, we'll wrap this webinar up. I hope everybody has learned something. I hope everyone's interest has been piqued by this unique technology. And as Radhika said, you'll be able to find CONTINEWM Nets on our website under the energy section on the marketplace. So yeah, thank you so much everybody for joining. Thank you, Sahitya, for your time and for your knowledge and expertise. I mean, I know that I learned something, so I hope that everyone else did. And yeah, thank you very much for joining, everybody. The recording will be available over the coming days, and I will send out an email to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and looking forward
thank you, Mariam. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, Satya.
No problem.
See you
Thank you,
later.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.